Power was never just about money or control. It was about choices. Every move made in the past created waves that are still crashing today. Streets remember names even when faces disappear. Old battles may look finished, but their damage never truly heals. The crown may fall, but the hunger it creates only grows stronger with time. What people forget is that legacy is not a gift. It is a weight. It presses down on everyone who touches it. Some carry it with pride, others with fear, but no one escapes it. Every deal, every betrayal, every life lost built the world we see now. And that world is far from peaceful. The silence feels heavy, like something is about to break. The rules that once controlled the game no longer apply. The old ways brought power, but they also brought downfall. Everyone watching has learned one lesson. Survival is never guaranteed. Trust is rare. Loyalty is expensive. And mistakes are paid for in blood. The past proved that no throne stays safe forever. Now, the city stands at a turning point. The air feels tense, like the calm before a storm. People are moving quietly, watching closely, waiting for the right moment. No one makes noise unless it matters. Every step is careful. Every word is measured. Because in this world, one wrong move can destroy everything. The legacy lives on, not as a memory, but as a warning. It whispers to those bold enough to listen. Power can make you feel untouchable, but it can also make you a target. And as the next chapter begins, one truth becomes clearer. The story is not over. It is only evolving. The streets are no longer run by patience. A new mindset has taken over, driven by hunger instead of fear. These new players grew up watching empires rise and fall, and they learned from every mistake. They don't dream about sitting on old thrones. They want to build something bigger, something that can't be taken so easily. For them, power is not tradition. It is opportunity. This generation moves fast and thinks sharp. They don't announce their plans or demand respect. They take it. They understand that noise brings attention, and attention brings enemies. So they operate in silence, letting results speak louder than threats. Every move is planned, every risk calculated. They know that one bad decision can end everything. So they make sure their enemies never see the decision coming. Unlike the past, loyalty is no longer built on family ties or history. It is built on value. If you are useful, you are protected. If you are weak, you are replaced. Trust is temporary, and alliances last only as long as they benefit both sides. This cold way of thinking makes them dangerous because emotion longer slows them down. These rising players are not scared of the names that once ruled the streets. To them, those names are lessons, not threats. They study how those empires collapsed, how power attracted betrayal, and how pride opened doors for enemies. They believe they can do better by staying hidden, by staying smarter, by never believing. They are untouchable. Technology and information have become weapons. Knowledge moves faster than bullets, and secrets travel quicker than loyalty. A single message can shift balance overnight. A single mistake can be exposed in seconds. This new generation understands the value of timing. They wait until their opponents feel safe, then strike without warning. The city feels different because the energy has changed. There is less talking and more watching, less chaos and more planning. Everyone senses that something new is being built beneath the surface. It is quiet, but it is powerful. And once it fully rises, nothing will be able to ignore it. This is not a continuation of the past. It is a rewrite. The game has evolved, and only those who adapt will survive. The new generation is not asking for permission. They are taking control, one silent move at a time. The past never truly disappears. It waits. Even when names fade from the streets, their influence stays alive in habits, in fear, and in unfinished business. Some shadows are too heavy to erase, no matter how much time passes. The world may look new on the surface, but deep down, old. Forces are still pulling the strings. Certain faces may no longer stand in the spotlight, but their choices continue to shape the game. Decisions made years ago still decide who eats and who starves, who rises and who falls. Old alliances may be broken, but the damage they caused still controls how people move today. Trust issues, rivalries, and silent grudges are all rooted in that past. There are people who carry history in their blood and memory in their eyes. They've seen what power can build and what it can destroy. They move differently, speak less, and watch more. They know that survival is not about strength alone. It is about patience and timing. When they step back into the picture, even quietly, the balance begins to shift. Not everyone returns for revenge. Some come back to protect what remains. Others return because they know something dangerous is coming. They understand the signs. They feel the tension growing in the streets, the way silence stretches longer than it should. Experience teaches you when trouble is close, even before it shows its face. The new players may believe they have erased the past, but they are wrong. History has a way of pushing back. Old lessons resurface. Old warnings repeat themselves. Patterns begin to form again, and those who live through them recognize the danger early. This is where experience becomes power. These familiar shadows do not announce themselves. They don't need to. Their presence is felt in hesitation, in sudden changes of plan, in doors that quietly close. The moment people realize someone from the past is involved, fear returns. Because history has already shown what happens when these forces are ignored. The return of these shadows does not mean the past is taking over again. It means the past is colliding with the future. Old knowledge meets new ambition, and that collision creates chaos. Everyone is forced to choose between learning from history or repeating it. And in this world, repeating mistakes is the fastest way to disappear. The game becomes more dangerous when memory walks back into the room, because those who remember the past also remember how to end it. Power no longer moves in the open. The loud days are gone. What happens now takes place behind closed doors, in quiet meetings, and through decisions that never leave a paper trail. The real battles are not fought with guns alone, but with timing, pressure, and control over information. The streets may look calm, but beneath that calm, wars are already being planned. Alliances are fragile and constantly changing. People shake hands today while planning exits tomorrow. No one fully trusts anyone anymore because trust has become the most dangerous weakness. Every partnership is built with an escape plan in mind. Everyone knows that survival depends on being ready to walk away at any moment. The strongest players are not always the most visible ones. Real power belongs to those who stay unseen, who let others fight while they decide the outcome. They study patterns, learn habits, and wait for cracks to appear. When the moment is right, they act fast and without hesitation. By the time anyone realizes what happened, the balance has already changed. Information is the new currency. Whoever controls it controls the board. Secrets are traded like weapons, and silence can be more deadly than threats. A single truth revealed at the wrong time can destroy alliances, end careers, or start wars. That is why everyone guards their moves carefully, knowing that even the smallest leak can bring everything down. Fear spreads quietly in this kind of war. There are no clear lines, no obvious enemies. People start doubting their own circles. Meetings feel tense. Conversations feel incomplete. Everyone senses that something is off, but no one can point to it directly. This uncertainty keeps everyone on edge and easy to manipulate. Territory is no longer just about streets or corners. It is about influence, access, and reach. Control comes from who can open doors and who can close them. The fight for dominance is no longer physical alone. It is mental, strategic, and emotional. Those who fail to adapt quickly fall behind. As power shifts hands, casualties happen quietly. Reputations are destroyed. Opportunities disappear. People who once felt secure suddenly find themselves alone. There are no announcements, no public warnings, just silence followed by absence. And in this world, being forgotten is worse than being defeated. These silent wars will decide everything, not with noise, but with precision, not with chaos, but with control. And when the dust finally settles, only a few will realize how close they came to losing it all. A name can open doors, but it can also paint a target on your back. In this world, names carry history, and history carries consequences. Some names demand respect the moment they are spoken. Others bring fear, suspicion, or old hatred. No matter what they bring, they are never neutral. Carrying a known name means you are never truly alone, even when the room is empty. People with heavy names grow up faster than others. They learn early that expectations can be dangerous. Everyone assumes they will follow a certain path, make certain choices, live up to a story that was written before they had a voice. Every move they make is judged, compared, and measured against the past. One mistake feels bigger, louder, and harder to escape. Some try to run from their name. They change how they move, who they trust, and where they stand. But the streets have long memories. Even when the face is new, others embrace the weight. They believe the name gives them strength, protection, and authority. But pride is dangerous. The same name that commands loyalty can also attract betrayal. People smile while plotting, pretending to respect the legacy, while secretly waiting for the chance to take it. Power inherited is power challenged. Living under a legacy creates constant pressure. Trust becomes complicated. Love becomes risky. Every relationship raises the same question: are they here for me or for the name I carry? This doubt eats away at peace, forcing hard decisions and emotional distance. Survival often means sacrifice, and sacrifice always comes at a cost. The name shapes identity in ways that are hard to escape. Choices are no longer personal. They become statements. Silence becomes strategy. Weakness becomes unacceptable. There is no room to fail quietly. Every step is watched. Every loss remembered. Carrying a name means living under a spotlight that never turns off. In the end, the real battle is not against enemies, but against the legacy itself. Deciding whether to honor it, change it, or destroy it takes courage. Because once you carry a powerful name, there is no going back. The cost is high, the pressure is constant, and the consequences are permanent. The future is not built on memories. It is built on decisions made in the present. Everything happening now is setting the foundation for what comes next. The game is expanding, becoming deeper and more dangerous than before. The streets are no longer the only battlefield. Power stretches into new spaces, and influence reaches places it never touched in the past. This new chapter is not about repeating old stories. It is about raising the stakes. The choices feel heavier because the consequences travel faster and hit harder. One move can affect many lives at once. One mistake can ripple across the entire system. Nothing stays small anymore, and no action goes unnoticed for long. Characters in this world are no longer defined by one role. Lines between hero and villain blur until they almost disappear. Survival forces people to make choices they never thought they would make. Good intentions are tested. Loyalty is pushed to its limits. And sometimes doing the right thing comes at the highest price. The future also brings uncertainty. No one can predict who will last and who will fall. The balance of power changes too quickly. Strong players today may be gone tomorrow. New threats rise without warning. This constant shift keeps everyone on edge, forcing adaptation or destruction. Stability becomes an illusion that no one can afford to believe in. What makes this era different is the mindset. Power is no longer just taken by force. It is shaped through patience, planning, and control. Those who survive are not always the strongest, but the smartest. They understand when to move and when to wait. They know that timing can be more powerful than strength. The legacy of the past still exists. but it no longer controls the future. It serves as a lesson, not a rulebook. The next generation is writing their own story, using old warnings to avoid old mistakes. Whether they succeed or fail depends on how well they understand the world they are trying to control. As the future unfolds, one truth becomes clear. The power universe is not ending. It is transforming. Bigger risks, deeper conflicts, and unpredictable outcomes lie ahead. And in this new era, only those who truly understand what power costs will be able to hold onto it. Safety is no longer something anyone believes in. The idea of being untouchable has died with the old empires. Every player, no matter how smart or powerful, lives with the same truth now: anyone can fall. Power no longer offers protection. It only brings attention, and attention always brings danger. The world has become unpredictable. Threats do not always come from enemies standing across the table. Sometimes they come from the people closest to you. Friends listen carefully. Partners watch silently. Even loyalty feels temporary, like something that can expire at any moment. Everyone understands that survival depends on staying alert. Even when things seem calm, plans no longer stretch far into the future. Long-term dreams are risky because tomorrow is never promised. People focus on the next move, the next decision, the next escape route. Every step forward is taken with caution, knowing that one wrong choice can erase everything built so far. Fear does not stop ambition, but it reshapes it. Reputation is fragile in this new era. One rumor can destroy years of work. One exposed secret can turn allies into enemies overnight. People protect their image as much as their lives because both can be taken just as quickly. Silence becomes a shield and distance becomes a form of defense. Violence still exists, but it is no longer the first option. It is the last message sent when all other methods fail. Damage is done quietly now, through pressure, isolation, and removal of support. By the time someone realizes they are losing, it is already too late to recover. The fall is slow, silent, and final. Everyone feels the weight of this uncertainty. Sleep comes lighter. Trust feels dangerous. Even victories feel temporary. There is no celebration without fear, no success without paranoia. Winning today only means becoming a bigger target tomorrow. This constant tension changes people, hardens them, and forces them to think differently. In this world, survival belongs to those who accept the truth. No one is safe. No name is strong enough. No plan is perfect. The moment someone believes they are protected is the moment they become vulnerable. And as this new era continues, the only rule that matters is simple: stay sharp or disappear. Warnings no longer come as threats. They come as silence, as sudden changes, as doors that no longer open. In this world, by the time someone realizes they were warned, it is usually too late. The signs are subtle, easy to ignore, and deadly when dismissed. Everyone feels them, but not everyone listens. The city sends signals to those who pay attention. A familiar face disappears. A trusted line goes dead. A meeting never happens. These are not accidents. They are messages. Each one is a reminder that the game is always moving, even when it looks still. Those who fail to read these signs find themselves exposed and unprepared. People begin to understand that power does not announce itself anymore. It removes options quietly. Opportunities vanish without explanation. Support fades. The ground slowly shifts beneath their feet until there is nothing solid left to stand on. When the fall finally comes, it feels sudden, but it was planned long before. This era leaves no room for comfort. Comfort creates blind spots, and blind spots get exploited. The ones who survive are those who question everything, even success. They double-check loyalty, test alliances, and never assume stability. They know that the moment things feel safe is the moment danger is closest. Mistakes are no longer forgiven. There are no second chances, no clean recoveries. Every error leaves. a mark that can be used later. People carry their failures with them, knowing they may one day be the reason everything ends. This pressure forces sharper thinking, but it also breaks the careless. The final warning is not about fear. It is about awareness. Understanding that this world rewards those who stay alert and punishes those who relax. The rules have changed, and anyone still playing by the old ones is already losing. Adaptation is no longer a choice. It is survival. As everything moves forward, the message becomes clear. This new era does not give warnings twice. It does not pause. It does not wait. Those who ignore the signs will not get an explanation. They will simply disappear, leaving behind nothing but a lesson for those still watching. Legacy is no longer something that stands untouched. In this era, every legacy is tested, questioned, and pushed to its limits. Respect is not given because of history anymore. It must be earned again, every single day. Old stories may impress some, but they do not protect anyone from what is coming next. Those who built power in the past left behind systems, habits, and expectations. The new generation studies these closely, not to honor them, but to find their weaknesses. They look for cracks in the foundation, places where pride once replaced caution. Legacy becomes a map, showing both what worked and what failed. Challenging. A legacy is dangerous, but ignoring it is even worse. The past still has influence, but it no longer controls outcomes. People are learning that history can guide, but it cannot decide the future. The ones who survive understand this balance. They respect the past without being trapped by it. Names that once stopped conversations no longer have the same power. People listen, but they do not bow. They wait, they observe, and they judge based on action, not reputation. This shift creates tension, especially for those who relied on their name to command loyalty. Now, loyalty must be proven, not assumed. The pressure of challenge forces growth. Those tied to legacy must evolve or fade away. Old methods feel slow. Old rules feel unsafe. Adaptation becomes necessary, not optional. Some rise to this challenge and become stronger than before. Others struggle, unable to let go of how things used to be at the same time. Challengers face their own risks. Attacking a legacy draws attention. It invites retaliation. One mistake can turn ambition into a death sentence. Challengers must be precise, patient, and disciplined. Confidence alone is not enough. Strategy decides survival. As legacies are challenged, the entire balance shifts. Nothing feels permanent anymore. Power flows, changes direction, and reshapes itself constantly. This uncertainty defines the new era. The past no longer stands above the present. It stands beside it.